Have you ever caught your reflection in the mirror and thought, where did the bold, fearless version of me go? Maybe you've felt more cautious lately, not just with your steps, but with your voice, your decisions, the way you carry yourself. That feeling is more common than you think. After 65, it's not just the body that changes, it's the way we think about ourselves. The way others see us can start to shape how we see ourselves. And before long, confidence begins to fade, not because we've lost anything real, but because we've forgotten just how much we still have. So today, I want to sit with you, just us, having a real, honest conversation, and remind you of something important. Your confidence isn't gone. It's just waiting to be invited back in. In this video, we're going to explore 4 simple but powerful mindset shifts that can help restore that confidence and bring back a sense of control, pride, and purpose in your daily life. Let's begin with something most of us don't talk about out loud: the pressure to act our age. You've probably heard it before. At your age, you should, or that's not for people over 70. The world loves to put people in boxes, and after a certain age, that box gets smaller and quieter. But here's the truth: there's no rule book. You don't have to dress a certain way, move a certain way, or even think a certain way just because you hit 65. A woman named Gloria once told me that when she turned 70, she stopped coloring her hair, and not because she gave up, but because she finally stopped trying to meet everyone else's expectations. "It's silver now," she said, "and I've never felt more myself." That's the first mindset shift. You are allowed to define what aging looks like for you. Whether that means picking up a paintbrush, learning to dance, or simply wearing your favorite bright lipstick again, it's not about age, it's about attitude. Confidence begins when you stop shrinking to fit the world's image of who you should be. Instead, start expanding into the person you've always wanted to be, no matter your age. And once you've started to shake off those old ideas of what's appropriate, there's something else to look at, something even more personal. It's the habit of focusing on what you can't do anymore. This is one that sneaks up quietly. You try to open a jar and it's harder than it used to be. You forget a name and panic for a moment. You walk a little slower and suddenly wonder if that means you're slowing down everywhere. Before you know it, your mind starts keeping a silent list of things you've lost. But what if I told you that confidence doesn't come from what you can do? It comes from what you do anyway. There's a man I know named Carl, 76 years old. He used to run marathons. These days, his knees give him trouble. "I had to grieve it," he told me. "Running was part of who I was." But instead of sitting still, Carl walks 5 miles every morning now, at a pace that works for him. "I may not run anymore," he said, "but I still move, and that counts." That's the second mindset shift. Celebrate what you can do, and do it with purpose. Instead of measuring against the past, start looking at your present as valuable. Maybe your hands shake too much to write long letters, but you can leave voice messages for your grandkids. Maybe you don't cook full meals anymore, but you can still make your famous soup that everyone asks for. What you do today still matters. Confidence is not about being the strongest in the room. It's about knowing your strength hasn't left you, it's just changed its shape. Let's pause here for a second. If anything I've said so far feels familiar, or hits a little close to home, you're not alone. The world doesn't talk enough about how self-doubt grows louder with age. Not because we're any less capable, but because we start to believe we're invisible. That feeling of being overlooked? It chips away at confidence. It makes you hesitate before sharing your opinion. It makes you second guess whether people even want to hear what you have to say. But here's the truth. Your voice carries something no one else has. Your life experience, your perspective, your sense of humor, none of that loses value with time. In fact, it becomes more rare, more needed. Confidence grows when you use your voice, not just when someone asks for it. So let's talk more about how to build that voice up again. There's something powerful that happens when you start using your voice again. Not for approval, not to be polite, but because your thoughts are worth hearing. When you speak up, you remind yourself and everyone else that you're still part of the conversation. That shift alone, saying what you think, asking for what you want, even saying no when something doesn't feel right, can breathe life back into your confidence, like flipping on a light in a dark room. One woman I knew, her name was Dottie, used to stay quiet during family dinners. Not because she didn't have something to say, but because she thought, they're young, they have their world now, mine's behind me. But one day, her granddaughter asked, Grandma, what was your wedding like? And Dottie lit up. She talked for an hour straight. Her stories didn't just entertain, they mattered. That night changed everything. From then on, she never sat silent again. And that's the third mindset shift. You are not fading. You're evolving. You haven't been left behind. You've simply reached a new chapter. The truth is, this stage of life doesn't mean you've stopped becoming. You're still learning, still growing, still shaping the world around you. Confidence comes when you start treating your experiences not as things that have passed, but as tools that have prepared you for what's next. You've raised families, held jobs, made difficult choices, loved deeply, lost greatly. That's not baggage, it's wisdom. It's the kind of strength that doesn't always shout, but always shows up. And the more you let yourself step forward with that wisdom, the more others will start listening. Now, I want to talk about something that can get a little personal. And I say this with kindness because we've all done it. Maybe you've done it this week. It's comparing yourself to someone else. You see another senior walking with perfect posture or remembering every little thing or climbing stairs with ease, and something inside whispers, "Why can't I do that anymore?" Or worse, "I used to be like that." Comparison is a thief. It steals your peace, your pride, and worst of all, your progress. But the truth is, confidence doesn't grow from being better than someone else. It grows from being true to yourself. There's a gentleman I admire. His name is James. He's 72, uses a cane, and moves slower than most. But he smiles like his feet are on clouds. I once asked him, "What's your secret?" And he said, "I stopped measuring myself by what others can do. I measure myself by how I feel inside. And today, I feel strong." That leads us to the fourth mindset shift. You're not in competition. You're in alignment with yourself. This journey after 65, it's not a race. It's not about who ages better or who remembers more names at the reunion. It's about asking, how do I feel in my own skin, in my own mind, in my own space? Start choosing clothes that make you feel good. Start decorating your room with colors you love, not the ones you think you're supposed to have. Eat food that energizes you, stretch in a way that wakes you up, and take walks that feed your spirit, not just your pedometer. Because real confidence blooms from authenticity, not performance. I once read something that stuck with me. Confidence is quiet, insecurity is loud. And the more I think about it, the more I see how true it is. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need a big audience or a big moment. You just need to wake up each day and choose yourself, with kindness, with courage, and with a little bit of defiance against that voice that says you've slowed down. Because maybe you have slowed down, but that doesn't mean you've stopped. It means you've shifted. And shifting isn't a loss, it's a skill. It means you've adapted. It means you're smart. It means you're still going. Right now, I want you to take one moment. Just one. And remember a time you felt proud of yourself. Not when someone gave you a trophy, but when you knew you'd done something well. It might be big, or it might be quiet. Maybe it was showing up to a friend's memorial even when it was hard. Maybe it was starting therapy. Maybe it was finally asking for help or making your first solo trip to the store again after months of hesitation. whatever it was, feel that moment again. That, right there, is your confidence. It's still with you. It always has been. And now let's talk about how to carry that feeling with you tomorrow and every day after. Let's sit with that feeling just a little longer. That moment you remembered feeling proud, steady, fully yourself. Hold on to it. That feeling is not a memory from the past. It's a reminder of what's still possible right now, today, and tomorrow. You see, one of the greatest gifts of aging is clarity. The world gets quieter in some ways, and in that quiet, we begin to see more clearly what truly matters. Confidence isn't about proving we're still young. It's about embracing that we've grown. It's not about erasing the years. It's about carrying them with honor. And when you shift your mindset from limitation to possibility, from comparison to self-trust, from fading out to stepping forward, you start to realize something powerful. You never really lost your confidence. It's just been waiting for you to notice it again, to dust it off and say, "You're coming with me." Let's talk about how to keep it close. Because yes, there are practical things you can do, habits that reinforce those mindset shifts, like waking up and setting one simple intention each morning. Just one. Something as small as, "Today, I'll speak up when I want to," or "Today, I'll wear something I love just for me," or creating tiny rituals that reconnect you to yourself. Maybe it's putting on music while you make tea. Maybe it's keeping a list of wins. Yes, even small ones, like getting through the day without doubting yourself or starting that hobby again after years. These things matter. And here's the beautiful thing. Confidence feeds on action, not perfect action. Any action. The more you do the things that feel aligned with your true self, the more your confidence stands up straighter beside you. Even when you have shaky hands, even when your memory slips, even when the world moves a little faster than you do, none of that changes your worth. None of that erases your ability to live with strength and joy. I met a woman named Beverly once, 86 years old. She walks slowly, uses a walker, and lives alone. When I asked her what makes her feel strong, she looked me dead in the eye and said, "Every time I make my own breakfast. That's it. Doesn't matter if it's oatmeal or toast, I do it. That's mine." It gave me chills. Because for her, that small act was a declaration. A reclaiming of self. That's what these mindset shifts are really about. Reclaiming who you are. And maybe confidence, at this stage of life, doesn't look like it used to. Maybe it's not about walking into a room and turning heads. Maybe it's about walking into a room and not needing to. Because you already know who you are. And now, I want to leave you with something encouraging. Because confidence isn't a finish line, it's a relationship with yourself. You wake up and choose it over and over. And on days when it's harder to find, you speak to yourself a little softer. You remind yourself what you've lived through. You offer yourself the kind of patience you've given to everyone else all these years. You don't need anyone's permission to shine again. You never did. So here's what I hope you take with you from today. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not less than who you used to be. You are still becoming, still growing, still allowed to feel proud, to take up space, to feel beautiful, to say no, to start over, to be bold. You have everything it takes to restore your confidence, not by going back, but by going forward with more clarity than ever before. And if anything in this video made you smile or think, "Yes, I needed that," I want to hear from you. Share a moment in the comments below, a time you felt proud, a small act you do to stay confident, or even something you're working on believing about yourself again. Let's make this a space where we build each other up. And don't forget, if this video helped you, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're building a community here, one where age doesn't define your worth, but deepens it. Here's to your voice. Here's to your courage. Here's to living your most confident life at any age.